Hello, everyone. Welcome in. Hello, how y'all doing tonight? My name's Andy Zoo. You guys haven't been with me before. I talk about finance, money, real estate, cryptocurrency, whatever y'all want, the future of the world, right? This is what we're here to talk about. Gen Z's Zoomer perspective on what we think is going to be happening in the coming days, months, and years of our life. Wow, isn't that amazing? So, appreciate y'all stopping by. Hopefully, this is being recorded correctly. I'm recording this, so it's going to be on my YouTube channel in case you can't stick around for the whole thing. So don't worry about that. I appreciate y'all being here. So, what has been going on lately? I think what a lot of people like me to talk about, usually at the beginning, is talk about, what's been going on lately in the stock market as we've been seeing. It's trading kind of sideways, kind of as I predicted. A little bit up here, a little bit down there, but and for certain stocks, it's like way up, and for certain things, it's way down, right? Like for the globe, we've been hitting brand new heights in the Dow and I believe in the S&P 500 as well. We've been hitting new records in those as well. So that's pretty exciting. So and the question is for a lot of people, okay, Andy, are we in a huge market bubble? What are we going to be doing about this? Can stocks just keep going up to the moon forever? And the the answer is obviously not. But the question is, when does it stop, right? When do these valuations, when do these stocks stop, keep going, quote unquote, to the moon, right? And the real answer is no one knows. I don't know. You don't know, and nobody knows, right? We have very limited ability to actually predict these things, and the best thing we can do to predict these things is think about it and look at the past and use our best knowledge and our best analysis the best we can, right? And so what I've been kind of trying to say to people over the past few days is that look at what's been happening in the economy, right? Because the stock market is not reflective of the economy. It is a reflective. Been telling people here. It is a reflection of what the future of the economy is going to be looking like, because everyone, when it comes to traders and investors, is looking at what the future is, not what today is. They're trying to buy a company based on what its future earnings are. So you have to be able to look into the future and try to be able to predict that. And so when we're looking at the future of the economy, right? When we're looking at what things are going to be like, a year from now, 2 years from now, what are we looking at? The first, the news is coming out that the vaccine is coming out way, 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 way faster than expected, rolling out pretty soon. Actually, like I literally got my vaccine today. I'll show you guys my little shot here. Oh, where's my Band-Aid? Oh, I lost my Band-Aid. Well, I had a shot today, and my arm really hurts. I had my vaccine shot today, and my arm really hurts. Gabrielle D, what up? What up, my friend? Hello to you. My arm really hurts. God dang. Like, I didn't realize the vaccines make you hurt so much, but I am sore as hell. So anyway, the point being is like, it's starting to come, it's starting to roll out. And by the end of May, we actually are pretty much likely going to have vaccines out to every American adult. As a nurse, this makes you so happy. Congrats. Thank you, Briar Hollow. Yeah, I qualify for 1C here in Tennessee based off of my asthma. So whenever I walk into a room with a lot of people smoking, I immediately get triggered. So it's asthmatic privileges. How about that? Bro, you're so smart. Why would you get this? Hollywood 75? Thoughts on Matic, Mark Canberra? I have been looking into Matic, Frank Canberra. I've been looking into Matic, but I don't know a lot about it right now. User 367, hi, hello. So yeah, Briar Hall, I got my asthmatic privileges. See, it pays not to breathe sometimes. Okay, but the point is for the overall trend of where we're going, right? We really are going to be having a whole, country that's vaccinated, and people are going to be able to get back. They're going to be having it as well. Araujo Marcy, is that how you say that? Hi, hello. Is JRod0296, it says, is GME gonna pop before increasing? JRod, if GME pops, I think you're gonna see, and I'll answer this before I kind of finish out my whole trajectory thing. If GME is going to keep increasing, I don't think you're gonna see like a massive downward trend. I think the only way it continues to sustain these growths and push to maybe 300, 400 in the current environment is if it kind of maintains. And look, if it maintains, if GME can continue to maintain and you know, it's I don't know how likely that is to do so because they were trading very flat today. But for the fact that they were trading very flat today is pretty impressive that they were able to sustain it. Because usually when these momentum stocks and meme stocks get hurt, they usually start to pop immediately. As it's going to be very hard for them to recover. So if they can stay the weekend, if they can last a few more days, wait for checks to start to get into people's hands. I mean, people are going to start throwing this into the market. I read a study, I believe it was by Barron's or somebody. It said that 50% of people, or like 50% of like more affluent adults, 18 to 35, were going to put a lot of their stimulus check into the stock market, right? So that's crazy, right? It was a very high number of young professionals, which are the people on Reddit, right? These are the guys who are on Reddit driving the stock up and down, right? So the money is coming to them, and you best be sure that these guys are going to be the ones who have also their bank accounts on file with the IRS, and you need to do that if you don't have your bank account on file with the IRS to get your stimulus check ASAP, right? I want you to get that money. So they're going to be driving all of these meme stocks. The volatility is going to be increasing huge, I think, over the next couple of weeks. And I think you are going to see a mini bull market within the next couple of weeks because all these stimulus checks are coming in. So I do not think right now is a bad time to be in a lot of these stocks, just from the pure volatility and potential meme and momentum standpoint there. I think there's going to be downs, and obviously there are going to be a lot of downs too, because other people, if I can sit here and think about that, if I can sit here and predict that, I mean, don't you think that other global people, other what's it called, other the big hedge funds guys can also sit there and predict that, definitely as well, right? So that's something to consider there. Mulletman86, Monday, Tuesday will rock. Yes, absolutely. Vibecat is my life says hello. Hi, Vibecat is my life. Hi, you're learning how to do stocks. Vibecat is my life. Well, hopefully I can help you a little bit, right? I want to. The way I try to approach understanding stocks and looking at them is kind of with a twofold approach. It's like, what are we looking at in the short term value? And do we have a momentum play? Do we have a short term play in it? And also, is it valuable for the long term as well? Like, is it in a growing market? Is it a strong company? Does it have good financials? Does it have a good management team? These are the things you want to be looking at. And so these are the kind of things I want to explain. I did a lot of research on Roblox today in order to talk about that. So if you guys are curious to hear what I think about Roblox, just let me know. What do you think about GE, Johnny Swaggy D? I know they just dumped a big sector of their portfolio. Their like, what is it? Their airplane portfolio, like their big GE capital sector. And I'm not sure. I'm not sure like what GE is really its competitive advantage is going to be, because all of the things that like we know GE for, like the appliances and the light bulbs and all this kind of stuff, they've been dumping. They've been dumping and getting rid of these product segments. So, and they're really only focusing on industrial. I'm not an expert in industrial, and I'll say this again all day, every day. I'm not an expert in most things, and I think most people should not have to be an expert in most things in order to make money in stocks, in cryptocurrency, and where I make my money really in real estate. You need to be an expert in one or two sectors, and you need to know more than the majority of people in one or two things, and that's really all you need, right? You don't have to be the global perspective expert on every single thing out there, because that's going to take too much of your time and you're going to get overwhelmed, and it's going to make your brain want to explode, right? Dennis Rasponi, hello. Dare stock, Dennis. Dennis, I can't resist you. I can't resist writing down your suggestions, my friend. I'll look at Dare. I don't know anything about Dare today. Ahi, you look like PFP. You like PFP? I don't know what PFP is. Vibecat is my life. Gabriel D, 161. How long can a stock get shorted? Annie called the doctor. Hi, hello, Annie. Bungie, so no, I'd like the toys to be banned from kids section. This game is for teens and up. Roblox? Are you talking about Roblox? Maybe. Well, it depends on where you are in the Roblox sector, right? But let me talk about how long can a stock get shorted. Gabriel D161. It can be for as long as they have money to buy it. And so I don't know. Hey, thank you for all you do, Mario Rizzo. Thank you, and thank all of you guys for coming to support me. I really do appreciate it and watching me. So if anyone was here for my explanation on what shorting is, I took a bunch of pens and explained how these shares go around. Essentially, when you're shorting a company, right? When a company shorts another company, or you decide to short another company, what you're doing, it's different than an option. When you do an option, let's say I do an option to buy a stock, okay? What happens when I do an option? It's like I get a little contract, and the contract says I have the ability, and so let me pay $2 for the ability to buy the stock at a certain price. Okay, so let's say the stock is $50 right now, and I get an option, and I pay $2 for the right to buy this stock at $50 anytime between now and 30 days from now, like a month from now. Okay, and what happens is it's essentially a form of using leverage in the stock market, because with your $2, you're technically controlling a $50 share. Okay, with $2, you can control the outcome of a share that might be worth $50. So a month from now, let's say this stock goes up to $60, right? And I execute my $2 share, and then the stock goes up to $60, and I sell 60 minus 60, and I can buy the stock at 50. And I can immediately sell it at 60, right? Because the stock price is actually 60. So I buy it at 50, sell it at 60. I make $10 in profit minus my $2 initial purchase for that option, and then I've made $8 in profit when I only put down $2 to start with. And obviously, if the price falls, you're going to be hurt a lot. So that's options in a very basic nutshell. Shorting a stock is different from options, because instead of getting like an option, right, a contract that you have the ability to buy a stock, you're doing something different. What you're actually doing is you're borrowing the stock from someone else. So let's say I'm a broker, and I have a stock, and I loan it out to you. And that's what you do. When you're shorting a stock, you're borrowing the stock. You're borrowing the stock from someone else rather than actually writing an option for it. So it's different, right? You borrow the stock from someone else and you sell it immediately, because you think the stock is going to go down. And you think the stock is going to go down. So let's say the stock, you borrow a stock at $50, and the stock you think is going to go down to $40. It goes down to $40. So you sell it immediately at 50. Okay. So you have money in the bank because you just borrowed it from them, and you have $50 sitting around. Like, you literally already have the cash. And then when the stock goes down, you buy it for $40 because it's now on the open market at $40, and the original person who lent you that share has to take it back, because all you did was borrow the share from them. They just take it back. So that's what shorting is in a very basic explanation of shorting. So how long can you short a stock for? You can short a stock for, what's up, Miss Momamo? Hello. How long can you short a stock for? You can short a stock for as long as you want. But the thing is, a stock can only be shorted and continue to be shorted if you pay interest on it. So that's the catch with shorting a stock, is that you're actually paying interest to borrow the stock. Just like to borrow any amount of money, you have to pay a certain amount of interest. So the question is, can you afford to wait out the interest that you're paying on the stock as the thing rises? And the longer and higher the price goes, the more likely that interest rate is also going to go up, because all of a sudden you borrowed that stock at 50, and let's say the GameStop short squeeze happened, and then all of a sudden the GameStop price is at 250. You're sitting there paying interest on this stock, and the price is at 250. And then the broker's like, yo, I'm about to raise the interest rate on you. And you're like, oh crap, what am I going to do? I have to just get out now and cut my losses. So I have to buy the share at market value at 250 and give it back to them. And then I get sad, I get wrecked, and then I'm Melvin Capital and I lose a lot of money. So hopefully that's a long-winded explanation to say as a long time. So let's talk about Roblox. J Rod, NG Less and Bungle Sums No, it's toxic, shouldn't be advertised for small kids. Yeah. Well, I mean, there's a lot of things going on in Roblox. So yes, let's talk about Roblox. Oh, Michael Guidry says hello. Hello, Michael Guidry. Let's talk about Roblox. Curtis Lane also says hello, and so does Unichan666. Hello, guys. Let's talk about Roblox. Let's talk about Roblox. Thank you for explaining that. You're welcome, Mario Rizzo. Love and peace to make the hedge funds broke because they're paying interest. Yeah, let's make them broke. I love that. You know, bring the wealth to the little guy is what is kind of the point of what I want to do in my life. You know, like help the little guy get by a little bit better. Let's talk about Roblox. So Roblox, obviously, if y'all own Roblox from yesterday, so what I did in Roblox yesterday, I bought it at $68.50, I sold at $70. I had 2 shares. And I made $3 on that. I'm a rich man. I'm a rich man from Roblox now. Roblox was very kind to me. But I was doing that yesterday just to test the theory that tech stocks and IPO stocks typically boost day one, and it did. So what happened today is that people found out that ARK Invest, actually Kathy Wood's fund, and she's like this big technology forward focused thinker. She bought a lot of Roblox last night. I think like 500,000 shares, something, a lot of shares. And obviously that sent Roblox up a lot because people want to follow the leader. People love to follow Kathy Wood until the end of the year. They love that. They love that lady. So that's why Roblox today went up. Curtis Lane up $60. Hell yeah. Briar Hollow, love Kathy Wood. Yeah, she's very smart. And they what ARK Invest, the interesting thing about ARK Invest is that they share all of their information for their funds every single day, all of their trades, and they try to explain why. And I really like that. They're trying to democratize and open up information as much as possible to people and try to remove the barriers that prevent the average investor from getting in. And her results have been very good over the last year or so. Like they've way outperformed the general market. So someone says people are not stuck inside playing Roblox, so it has peaked Mountain Man 2099. So let's talk about Roblox. So this is, and I'm gonna make a full YouTube video on this. I think probably I'll try to make it over the weekend, but y'all are gonna get my first impressions of Roblox right now. And so this is how you would approach looking at a company, looking at a valuation of a company. And the reason I have expertise in doing this is that I do this in the real estate world, right? I do projections, financial projections for commercial real estate buildings, and as well as for sometimes the companies that are going into our real estate buildings. So this is what I do for a job, right? So, and this is how I approach my stock analysis. And so for this stock analysis, so looking at Roblox, what am I going to look at? For the first thing I'm going to look at is actually, before even looking at the company itself, it's like the overall sector, the overall future of the sector. Because, you know, even if it's the best company in the entire world, Roblox, let's say it is the best company in the entire world. If it's in a dying sector, it's not going to be, or in a sector that's really maybe just not, you know, sexy right now, it's not going to be doing well. That's just, you know, because at the end of the day, stocks have to be wanted by somebody, and if people don't want it, it doesn't matter, right? No matter how good on paper the company is. So is it in a growing sector? And obviously gaming and tech and Roblox has the added benefit of being a big meme, right? If you ever hear that ooh sound on like YouTube videos editing, it's like that's from Roblox, right? Ooh. So Roblox is a big meme. It's in gaming, it's in tech, it's going to be here for the future. So people are saying, hey, has it peaked because people aren't going outside, or are going to be going outside. You know, more and more people are going to go back to real life. Yes and no, right? I mean, look what was happening with Fortnite and Minecraft even before the pandemic, right? More and more kids are getting into online gaming, and especially things like esports. And now Roblox is not an esport yet. I think the key word there is yet, because now we're going to look at what Roblox's business does and how can we reach the potential valuation that Roblox currently sits at. So it sits at a $74 valuation, right? It sits at a $74 per share and about a $40 billion total market cap, right? So if it's at a $40 billion total market cap, more viewers than the NFL, yeah. Like Roblox has a huge amount of players, right? Roblox has 200 monthly active users was the statistic I saw. 200, I'm sorry, 200 million, 200 million monthly active users. That is crazy. Like that's more than TikTok has, I think. I'm pretty sure that's more than TikTok has in terms of monthly active users. So if you're talking about a platform that is very, very powerful, you've got one, right? I think what's it called? Minecraft has about 125 million active users. And this is where I'm going to be looking at in depth on numbers. And the thing about Roblox too is that Roblox has the ability not only to be it's not just one game, right? And anyone who has kids who's playing Roblox or has played Roblox themselves, I actually have not. I was a big Minecraft dude and a Call of Duty dude back in the day, but I never played Roblox. But for the people who understand Roblox, it's like it's not just one game like Minecraft is. There are a lot of things inside Roblox and a lot of different game modes. It's really more of a platform and a place for people to hang out and things that you can build different things inside of. It's like in GTA 5, you know, you have different mods and stuff. And people used to play Gary's mod, and then there's my custom Minecraft servers. It's all these different games and stuff that you can build inside of Roblox. And there's even gaming companies. I just read an article about a gaming company that's literally building their entire gaming company is built only inside creating different Roblox games, like racing games and all these different types of things. So, I think they're a profitable company. I'm pretty sure they're a profitable company within Roblox, even that Roblox itself is not a profitable company. So, obviously, Roblox has huge appeal and it has the huge ability to scale because it gives and offers people more than just one game. And also, it's a social hangout experience. It's a cultural experience for people like Fortnite is, right? We remember you have to look back at Fortnite and you have to look at, oh, you know, they had, what was it, like Travis Scott? Like, was it Travis Scott? It was somebody, or Justin Bieber. Somebody had a big, maybe it was both of them, concert inside of Fortnite. So everyone would show up in their Fortnite skins and it would be a live concert inside of Fortnite. And people like, why would anybody watch that and not just watch a video of a concert? Because you can be in there, you can be jumping around with your character, you can be interacting with your friends. User 969, it was Travis Scott? Okay. So yeah, I was right. My brain remembers things sometimes, every now and then. So you can be jumping around with your friends, you can be interacting, you can be doing stupid dances, like just having fun, right? It's interactive as opposed to just watching a video. So that's why uh, this things like Fortnite have become such a social phenomenon because it's beyond just I can play a game and shoot people in Fortnite. It's beyond just Roblox. It's like I can interact in these little worlds. It is more than that. It is a place where people go to hang out. And because if you have now we have to compare it to other companies around it. Right? What are other companies valued at in the gaming space? And that's the key. That's the key. Because if it's supposed to sustain, remember when you're buying a stock, you're buying future cash flows. You're buying and on the expectation that this company to other companies who also make video games. So let me compare it to Activision Blizzard, who makes like Call of Duty and World of Warcraft. Let me compare it to EA, who makes EA Sports is in the game, like FIFA and stuff. And let me compare it to something like Take-Two Interactive, which I think is a pretty good comparison as well, because Take-Two Interactive makes stuff like GTA 5, and they own Rockstar, so they make Grand Theft Auto and Red Dead Redemption and a lot of these games that also have kind of society, and people like to have them transcend more beyond themselves. So Gen X, Pugsy. Okay, see, you're not old. Gen X, come on, don't call yourself old. So is EA Sports a good investment now? I'm not sure. I'm not sure about these. I'm not really sure about actually, like, in terms of where all these gaming companies are going, because I would have to know more about their specific video games, and I haven't been able to look into that enough to have an opinion on that. I've really only been looking at Roblox. New X Guy says sup. Hello, New X Guy. So looking at Roblox there, gosh, lost my train of thought. Looking at Roblox, okay, let's compare it to these other companies, right? Let's compare it to an Activision. Let's compare it to an EA. Let's compare it to Take-Two, and let's compare it to Minecraft. I think Minecraft is the easiest one-to-one comparison. And now, Minecraft is owned by Microsoft, so we don't have direct information comparison. But we do know Minecraft has, according to public information that I have, it has about 120 million monthly active users right now, and its 2020 revenue was $415 million, okay? About 120 million monthly active users, and its 2020 revenue was about $415 million. And I would hazard to guess that if Roblox monetized themselves the right way, and this is something to remember as well. This is something, Prodigal Athlete says, people can upload their games and people can get paid if people like their game, right? Yeah, people are building companies inside of Roblox and getting paid. Roblox, what's the minimum shares one should buy? Pugsy6868. I'm not telling you to buy shares. I'm just trying to analyze it for you here. So let's talk analysis of, can it sustain this valuation, right? As we were saying before, we're buying a company based off future cash flows. So we have to see, will this company become profitable, and can it have the revenue to sustain its future cash flows, right? And so for Roblox, you have to understand, if you own Roblox right now, it is not a profitable company. It is a very unprofitable company, and they have more debts than assets, right? They have more total debt and liabilities than they actually have assets there. PX guys, 4 of those users live in your house. Oh my gosh. You have 4 kids, or are you one of them too? So looking at Minecraft, okay, Minecraft revenue 2020, 415 million according to this website I'm looking at, and their user base is 120 million monthly active users. So let me say Roblox is 200 million monthly active users, so maybe it's close to double that. So maybe their revenue could be about $800 million or so, potentially. Always do your own due diligence, says iDrum707. Yes, absolutely. Prodigal Athlete, it's kind of like the YouTube of games. A little bit. 4 kids, you pay their allowance in Robux. Oh my gosh, New X guy, that's really funny. That's really funny. Doesn't sound like they'll be profitable long term. So that's what we're trying to figure out, Pugsy. Since Disney started to open, they're taking reservations. They're sold out to the end of April. Willie Hess. Oh, that's amazing. Good for Disney. People are coming back. Good for them. But I assume that's at reduced capacity. So take that also with that information as well. So anyway, back to Roblox, right? So let me look at Roblox's valuation, and let me look at the other companies in this space's valuation. So Take-Two Interactive, which owns Rockstar, which owns Grand Theft Auto, which owns Red Dead Redemption, their valuation is $20 billion. So just looking at Roblox versus Take-Two, you have to assume that right now Roblox is twice as profitable or twice as good of a company as Take-Two Interactive, the guys who have GTA 5. Can it be? Is that true or not? Okay, well, let's look at Activision, right? I'm pretty sure, and I'm trying to pull these numbers from the top of my head. Activision, I believe it's either Activision or EA. One of the two. One of the two was 72 billion. I believe it was Activision, and I believe EA was about 40 billion as well. So that would put in comparison. So the company that makes World of Warcraft and Call of Duty is bigger company. Let me just make sure, ATVI, that I'm not talking completely out of my derriere, as they like to say, because yes, 72 billion for Activision Blizzard. Gosh, I can remember numbers sometimes. That is my job after all. So Activision Blizzard is 72 billion market cap. So the company that makes Call of Duty and World of Warcraft and all these other games and Hearthstone, only being 1.5 times as big, or give or take, maybe just under 2 times as big as Roblox. Is that something that you think is true? And then also there is EA Sports is in the game, where especially with something like FIFA and that game being played all over the world. FIFA is being played all over the world, and their market cap is 37 billion actually. So they're less than what Roblox is right now. So if we compare Roblox to EA and to Activision and to Take-Two, it's like, okay, we're starting to see that potentially it's difficult to justify this valuation in the long run, especially since this company is unprofitable right now, and all of these other companies are making billions and billions of dollars per year. Okay, so, but then, okay, we're gonna look at, let's think about what Minecraft is making based off of their revenue per share. Since I would consider that their revenue model is not exactly the same, because Minecraft relies on sales, but I do want to compare it in terms of it's like a community building game, and that it's kind of more standalone that compared to these other bigger companies that have a lot of different games. So remember, Minecraft 125 million active users, and then Roblox, and their revenue about 415 million. So let's be generous, and let's say that Roblox can get to a revenue of $800 million. Okay, and that's obviously not accounting for expenses. So we also have to look at something called the price to earnings ratio of these other companies. So of EA, of Activision, and of Take-Two Interactive. So their price to earnings ratios are all between 32 and 40, average at 36. Okay, so if you look at that average of 36 price to earnings ratio, we can use the valuation of the company and the average price to earnings ratio of other companies in that industry to say, what do we think that their potential revenue needs to be at in order to support a valuation? Oh my gosh, we're going in deep, guys. This is like, if you can do this type of work, if you can do this type of analysis, you are going to be so far ahead of other people who are trying to just trade Roblox for the meme, right? Like, if you can do this type of work, and it's not complicated, it's not that hard. I looked at this stuff for a couple of hours today, and obviously I'm no expert in it, and I would want to study it a lot more if I were actually making financial projections. But this is how you look at it, right? I look at these other companies. They're making a 36 price to earnings ratio on average between the three of them. Okay, that gives me the ability to then go, and I wrote it out on a card here, and I think the text is backwards. Yeah, the text is backwards, so you can't even see. But anyway, the price to earnings ratio, that means is the price of a stock divided by the amount of earnings per share. Okay, the price of a stock divided by the amount of earnings per share. So that's what you're looking at for the price to earnings ratio. So let's say there's 10 million shares, and the company makes $100 million in net profit. And so, okay, so that's what $10 million per share, and then so okay, hold on. 10 million shares. Let's just say they make $10 million in net profit. So you literally just take $10 million of earnings divided by 10 million shares, and you have a 1 earning per share, right? $1 of earnings per share. And let's say the price of the company is 20. The price of the stock is 20. So then it's 20 divided by 1 equals a 20 price to earnings ratio. John Paul Beats, you're awesome. No, you're awesome. It's like Keanu Reeves. You're beautiful. So that's how you calculate the price to earnings ratio, right? So how do you use the price to earnings ratio to analyze what the potential company is worth, or what kind of revenue it needs? Because you need to look at the amount of revenue it needs to catch up to these other companies in the industry if it's supposed to be a sustainable company in the long run, because as we know, Roblox is currently unprofitable. Prodigal athlete, yes, how? So what you do is you take the price to earnings ratio and you divide that by the market cap. So the market cap, which is the total amount of shares outstanding, times the price of the share equals the market cap. So that's the market capitalization, and it just essentially means it's like how big is the company, because these are essentially how valuable is the company at any given day according to the market, right? So when I say Activision Blizzard has a market cap of $72 billion, right? When I say that means that the total amount of shares that they own times the price of the share is $72 billion for all of the shares of Activision Blizzard. Okay, so if I take the market cap of Roblox of $40 billion and divide that by 36, right? $40 billion divided by 36, I get 1.1 billion. Is that shares times price equals market cap? You taught us last week. Prodigal athlete. Yes. Hey, taking notes, right? Taking notes, my friends. Very good. $40 billion divided by 36, that's $1.1 billion. So if it's supposed to be, if Roblox trades at the same price to earnings ratio as these other gaming companies, it needs to be making a $1.1 billion profit to sustain its current valuations. And that might be hard, right? That might be hard considering that, as we were looking before, kind of generously, let's assign the Minecraft revenues and double that, because Roblox has about double the amount of monthly active users. Let's assign that to be doubled, and that gets us to $800 million. J Music Official, oh, you're late. Ah, no, you're not late. Jay, I'm trying to record this video. Hopefully it works. Like, I've recorded the last 3 or 4 days of my lives, and I haven't uploaded them because all of the video files were corrupted for some reason, or I ran out of memory, or some other bullcrap that happened. So hopefully you can catch that. If the rest of what I talked about, I'll try to be uploading to my YouTube channel if the file is not corrupted. Yay! So hopefully you can catch that there if you missed the rest of this. If my files don't corrupt. Anyway, the point is, like, if we take Roblox's Minecraft's earnings, double it, $800 million, pretty close to the $1.1 billion. It's like not all the way there, but we're close. And then we start to say, well, what if we can assign Roblox some sort of meme premium, right? The kiddos love Roblox. Like, if Fortnite was a publicly traded company, I'm sure it would be trading at a higher price to earnings ratio than, these other legacy game companies, because it's a meme, right? Kids love it, and it's got energy. That's why something like Tesla still, even though it's fallen off of its peak by a few $100s, even though it's fallen off of its peak, Tesla is still trading at like a 1,000 times price to earnings ratio compared to other legacy car makers down at like 25 or 30, right? So that's obviously a big difference in terms of a company and how much a company can have in terms of both forward potential and meme potential. So let's say we take $40 billion and instead we think that Roblox is going to settle out at a 50 price to earnings ratio. So I'm going to do $40 billion divided by 50. What do I get? I get, oh, wow, that's interesting, $800 million, which is what I had said, might be Roblox total revenue if it could have the same amount of revenue stream as a Minecraft, right? And since it does have double the amount of monthly active users as a Minecraft, that would seem to put us kind of in the ballpark. So I haven't done any more analysis beyond that, but like that's how you get there, right? That's how you start to think about these companies and how do I think of how this company is going to be lasting for the long term, and can it end up catching up to its valuation? So Kathy Wood's boys and girls over at ARK Invest obviously did some calculations, number crunching the same way that I did, but on a more in-depth level. They obviously think it's going to succeed. So they bought into Roblox. And so I personally, I would say that I would be careful buying heavily into Roblox right now, because they still are very, very unprofitable and have more debt than assets, right? They have more debt than assets, which is always an issue. Like, if you run out of money, you have more debt than assets already. Oops. The value of the company by itself, if it had to go bankrupt, it doesn't have any value for you, right? Willie Hess says, when someone like Kathy would buy stock that much, they don't get out of discount. Are you saying that we won't be getting a discount anymore? Yeah, that's why the price went up. So, but that's why I'm saying also to be careful. It's like I think that Roblox could potentially become, grow into its $800 million a year revenue to $1 billion a year like earnings, right? Net income. I think it could get there, but I'm not sure that I would be willing to pay for that expectation today, given how far we are likely away from that, right? Like I needed to be at $1 billion per revenue today, and then it's like, still kind of more expensive than a lot of these other companies, and we're not even close to that, right? So that's the issue. But the thing is with Roblox is that there is so much demand and so many people building on the platform and people wanting to continue to be on the platform and user growth that it is likely something that's going to sustain even with the pandemic reopening and people getting back into the world. Kids who are the future. Gen Z rebuilds. Gen Z rebuilds. Love video games. I was talking about how more and more people are getting into esports and video gaming. So that's I have a hard time seeing the numbers, overall numbers, drop off. Especially, remember, we after the last year of the pandemic, we have taught all of our kids, me included, and you all included, to be online, to interact online, to have all of the important milestones and the important culture and the important, interactions with our friends online. Like this is baked into the brains and psyches of millions and millions and millions of kids. And I'm 23, so I would consider myself to be a kid as well. Like this is like literally transformational in terms of how we are going to be viewing the world. And if you're a little bit older, it's not going to be as transformational. It's still transformational for you, but it's not as, mind altering because you're older. You have your brain is less malleable or whatever, and then you're more set into your current ways because that's how your brain is, right? Your brain kind of crystallizes. So when we're younger and more adaptable, our brain is going to be like, this is what life is. I want to know what life is. It's made out of Roblox. Like that's what it's going to be, right? People interact online. So long-term perspectives for the company, I do believe they're going to do well, and I think they're going to be very successful. I just am personally concerned about their current valuation. I think that if it were, even out trading at like $60 or $45, like it was initially supposed to come out, that would be something a lot more reasonable, I think, for me. But I haven't, again, this was my very cursory base level analysis, but hopefully it gives you guys a lot to work off of and chew and digest and work through in terms of how do I think about analyzing company. And so now you can do that with other companies as well, right? This is what I want, not just Roblox. It's like, look, I spent a couple hours today looking at this one company. But you can get really good at it, right? Like you spend a couple hours, you can like get a very good overview and kind of comparison shop and of a company. Like that's where you want to be, and especially if you're trying to get into individual stock picking. But as I've said before too, it's like a lot of the times I don't. I throw money into the S&P 500 every week because I'm lazy, right? And even though I do this for fun to like help you guys, and I look at stocks for fun like some sort of weirdo. I also am risk averse, right? Like I'm trying to explain to you guys a lot of the risks a lot of the time with these stocks. I'm like, and for that reason, I'm out, right? I'm trying to save my money for a real estate investment. I'm trying to buy a duplex here in Nashville, and I will be covering that on this channel as well. But the point being said is like sometimes, you don't have to do all this work. Just buy stocks in general, buy the, S&P 500, buy that thing every single week, and you're probably going to be doing okay in the long run, and then you have to spend a lot less time thinking about it. But when you do find a stock you like, I also still believe in dollar cost averaging. People are like, dollar cost averaging is dead. It's like, maybe it's not as optimal of a return as if you learned how to time the market exactly and you had a crystal ball. Yes, you're absolutely correct. If you have a crystal ball, you can make a lot more money than everybody else. And if you can see the future, you can make a lot more money than everybody else, right? But sometimes you can't see the future, and you don't. You just dollar cost average. You put in a couple dollar. You buy 1 or 2 shares of whatever you want to buy, or however much money you want to be putting in every single week. You know, you buy more when the price is low, and you buy less when the price is high, and that's great. And you don't think about that either for a long term position. Have to digest that prodigal athlete. Where do we find the revenue? Is that always the market cap? You can look at Yahoo Finance is a very easy way to look at the numbers at Yahoo Finance. So you can find they'll have like a financials tab over to the right, and it will give you their income statement, which is where you find the revenue. It has the revenue and the expenses. And then you can also find their balance sheet, and their balance sheet has their assets and liabilities, which is essentially just like the stuff that they own and their debt, right? So that's what you want to be looking at. Roblox is interesting, AlleyCat3. Yes, absolutely. So, prodigal athlete, are you saying that shares times price is higher than their market cap right now? No, their shares times price is exactly their market cap. What I'm saying is that I believe their market cap it may be too high, as in their total valuation may be too high, which more translates to not that share times price is higher than their market cap, because shares times price is just by definition the market cap. I'm saying that there might be a little bit of hype in Roblox right now in terms of the company may not be actually worth $40 billion company, and therefore the price of an individual share might need to be coming down. And I think likely it will come down over the coming months. But I actually think that if you're in Roblox right now for the short term, you have a pretty high probability of making a lot of money of Roblox for the short term, because and this is different, right? Everything has to be separated, and when you're trading stocks is the short-term play and the long-term play. In the short-term play, the analysis is that stimmy checks are coming, my stimmies, right? And people are going to be throwing money into this stuff, and Roblox is a prime candidate for people to be throwing money into, because sometimes some parents are going to be giving their kids their stimulus check. It's like, gosh, I wish my parents would have. If I were like 13, I wish my parents would have given me a stimulus check, and I definitely would not have gotten it if I were 13 today, 10 years ago. So, but anyway, some parents are going to be giving their kids their stimulus checks, and they're going to throw that thing right into what they love, into Roblox. They're going to spend, $700 of that on Roblox stock, and the $700 of it into Robux, and they're going to be all in, and that's going to be good for Roblox too, right? So that is something that's going to happen in the short term. I do believe Roblox has some strong potential to run in the short term. That being said, there's always a risk that doesn't happen, that something else happens and there's a catastrophic event, tech sells off again, Kathy Wood pulls out all of her shares and everybody goes running for the hills. These all things can happen in Roblox, and and also it's like just anything can happen in the stock market in general, and things can have a massive crash like at any point in time, right? So that's those things you have to be thinking about as well. So I do think it is probably more likely than not that Roblox has some run and play in the short term. But over the long term, I would like, personally, if I were trying to invest in it, I would like to see the valuation settle down a little bit. And typically, if you look at IPOs, typically IPOs do start to settle down a little bit over time. Let's look at Bumble. Bumble being kind of a similar thing to Roblox. Oh, it was up 10% today as I say that, right? Gosh. To disprove my point, Bumble went up 10% today. Was there some news on Bumble? What happened? But anyway, over time, Bumble IPO'd. What was the date IPO'd? On February 11th, about a month ago. And then it peaked at $78, and then it ran all the way down to 63. So it lost like 20% or so of its market cap over 2 weeks, right? It lost 20% of its share value. So that is something that I think is also likely to happen in Roblox, especially. My prediction, and I could be very wrong, and I think that likely I will be very wrong, but the prediction that based on my information that I have and what I can see, I would expect it to go up in the short term and then probably face a similar sort of 20 to 30% pullback from its stock over the coming months or so after the major bump that I think it's going to be getting from these stimulus checks. So that would be my prediction. But take my predictions with a grain of salt. I learned the hard way that it's very hard to time the market last year during the coronavirus crash when I convinced my dad and myself to sell out of stuff at the bottom because I thought it would drop more and then we would rebuy at the bottom. Nope, that thing went right on up, death march straight to the top, and I was like, I made a huge mistake. So that is also full disclosure for you all as well. I'm not some sort of prophet. I'm just an idiot on the internet. But I have learned a lot of my lessons since then. Hopefully. Number one being I am dumber than I think I am. I repeat that as a mantra every day. So do I think there's a chance for esports? AlleyCat3, yes. Obviously there's a chance for esports. Esports is huge, man. Like people play League of Legends and then Overwatch and whatever else people are playing. Competitive Hearthstone, like there might be esports within Roblox. I don't know. Like esports are like 20 years from now, okay, even maybe 10 years from now, kids are going to be growing up and esports in America is going to be a very widely accepted thing for kids to do as opposed to playing traditional sports. Like already, I kind of look at it the same way. Like when coronavirus was happening in China last year, I was telling all my friends, because I have family in China, I was telling my friends, it's like, y'all, if it gets here, we're gonna have to do the same crap they're doing. And obviously we didn't do it at the same level where there's government controls and cameras watching you everywhere. But I'm like, we're gonna have to do the same thing they're doing because guess what? People are people and humans are people too. And if they're humans and this is happening to them, it's going to happen to us. So that's what I was telling people is like coronavirus. You can look to other cultures and societies sometimes to see what can happen with human beings being part of stuff, because even though we have different thoughts and different ideas and different cultures and different political backgrounds and different regions around the world, at the end of the day, people are people. People are still people. Wow, believe it or not, guys, you heard it here today first from Gen Z Rebuilds that people are people, right? So that is your lesson for today. But these guys over in Korea, over in China, like esports are huge. Like people don't want to be a soccer player. You don't want to be a basketball player in China. You want to be an esports god. You want to be a League of Legends god. That's what you want to be. Like that's what that's already today. That's what people were like. Future is now. Like they're already there. Like no kids in high school don't want to play sports. They want to be in esports, right? They want to be playing online video games for fun. That's going to come to the United States, especially since a lot of the major esports are owned by American companies, and it's slowly starting to trickle in. And as with kids and playing Fortnite as like the pastime to connect with their friends, and not only as a competitive game, but as a way to interact and socialize. Already today, 10 years from now, what do you think it's going to look like? Answer that question. You had to work through the whole pandemic. I got no time off at all. Willie Hess, I'm so sorry, my friend. I'm sorry. I did not either, except for the point where I took once coronavirus hit at the very beginning, and I was just like, what the heck am I gonna do? Sailor J Karaoke, I appreciate you. When coronavirus first hit, I don't know, I was like kind of like majorly depressed for a little bit. Like this sucks because I also right when coronavirus hit, all my friends had to go home. I also had to. It was my senior house flip that I've been working on it back in my house, and this house flip, the dude I was working with and trying to do business with, I had been trying to help this homeless guy get off of his feet and doing work with him and doing jobs, and I was trying to go out and get jobs for him, and that's what I was doing, kind of running jobs as a general contractor, like handyman contractor, and he robbed me to the tune of a few $1,000s, and so that was a big emotional gut punch, and I almost had to call the cops on him, and it was very sad, and I still haven't gotten my money back. Anyway, I had to take a few weeks off after that. my body wasn't ready. Have I touched on Coupang yet, Don Buck? I have not. I'm not very familiar with Coupang. What do I think about Bitcoin and its future projection price? Ashley Scaife. Coupang, the Amazon of the East. Is that what that is? Is it like a Baidu kind of thing, like an Alibaba? I don't know much about Coupang. What do I think about Bitcoin and its future projection price? Ashley Scaife. Bitcoin. I mean, look, I don't have to do any other analysis other than supply and demand. Okay, Bitcoin in the future is going to be worth more than it is today. Like it's almost one of the most certain things that, as certain as you can be when it comes to financial projections, right? From supply and demand. Like, look how much demand there was for it 10 years ago. Not much. How much was it worth 10 years ago? Nothing. Look how much we're worth today. There's a lot more demand for it, and especially there's a lot more demand from institutional buyers. With companies, Tesla, MicroStrategy, there are Chinese companies buying Bitcoin. It's coming to MasterCard, Square and PayPal. All people want to be able to pay in Bitcoin. Like, it is become a legitimate thing. This is not a thing that's all of a sudden going to disappear. And only about 20 to 25%, I think I used to be saying 15 to 20%, but it seems like the number has since been updated. Only 20 to 25% of Americans are using cryptocurrency right now. Okay, that's not very many. What happens when that thing becomes 50%? What happens when that thing becomes 75%? And as more and more young people grow up and who have been exposed to cryptocurrency through things like Dogecoin, as much as to my chagrin about Dogecoin, right, have been exposed to these things, and you have people on the top who are anti, and when I say top, I mean old people who have all the wealth in this country, unfortunately pass away, and they leave their wealth to their younger children, who are more likely to be engaged in something like Bitcoin or cryptocurrency. What do you think is going to happen? More money is going to go into it, supply and demand. And for something like Bitcoin that has a limited supply and only potentially increasing demand, like, you tell me, how does that affect the price? And so, Ashley, that doesn't mean that there's not going to be massive losses in Bitcoin if you buy into Bitcoin. And like, let's say it's at $50,000 or like $56,000 today. And like literally 2 weeks ago it was at 45, and then 2 weeks ago before that it was also at 58. So like it can go up like 30% in 2 weeks easily, right? And up and down. And if you get scared out of it and you buy at the top and you see the thing starting to fall, you're gonna lose a lot of money, especially if you sell out. So you can absolutely lose money in Bitcoin. But that's why I say it's like, if you want to be entering cryptocurrency, don't try to trade it, because like, especially if you're a beginner, because that's going to get you scared and you're definitely going to make mistakes. But honestly, like, if you just buy some amount of Bitcoin today, like, the odds of it being lower in the long run, even if there are massive crashes and corrections in between, as long as you can hold on to it, you diamond hands it, right? We're talking about diamond hands. We're talking about GameStop earlier, diamond hands, right? Hold on to your Bitcoin. You probably will not lose. And obviously, I don't know the future. You don't know the future. But like, the best way we can look at the future is to understand the past, understand current principles, and understand human psychology, right? Understand the past, Bitcoin's obviously done very, very well. And we're not even, and understand basic principles of supply and demand and market adoption, right? And we're not nearly even close to 100% market adoption. And then, human psychology is like, people are going to be wanting more and more of it as more and more people want it. As I say this every single time on this stream too. It's like, money is a meme. Money is a meme. Money is a meme, right? Everything that we want or want to own or has value in this world is a meme, because a meme essentially just being an idea that takes on something more than itself, right? The idea. Oh my gosh, this pen has a light in it. That's fun. The idea of a meme, I'm gonna like give myself an eye test while I'm talking to you guys. The idea of a meme is that something that takes on more information than itself, right? Takes on a greater idea than itself, and with that meme, everything we want to own only has value because other people want it, right? Same thing for Bitcoin. It has value because other people want it. Other people want it. Also, the United States federal government says, I've got my tanks backing up that dollar bill, right? Bitcoin obviously doesn't have any tanks backing it up, but it has the collective power of the internet, right? And obviously, if everyone in the entire world decided to say Bitcoin is no longer worth anything, it would be worth zero tomorrow. But do you think that's going to happen? Because if like 20% of the world said, I think it's going to be worth zero tomorrow, you're going to have other percentage, 20% of people being like, oh my gosh, the price just went on sale for 30%. I'm going to buy double, triple amount, and the thing's going to go back up. It is kind of, as funny as it is that Bitcoin was created to ensure decentralization and breaking away from like the federal government and all that kind of stuff. It is kind of the purest form of market economics just by itself. It is pure supply and demand. There is nothing else that affects Bitcoin. Obviously, it's very, because of there's nothing like a government protecting you while investing. It is very unstable. But that's where we are thinking about it. Messages. You are the I because sometimes things are very complicated and people make them more complicated than they need to be, and you can make anything as complicated as you want. And sometimes you're just like, I'm too dumb to understand, and I need to understand for myself. So how can I make myself understand stuff? We've abbreviated the English language. LOL. Prodigal athlete. Yeah, absolutely. Angly says, honestly, you bought it hoping it's going to be the next GME. Are you talking about Coupang or Bitcoin? I'm not sure what we were talking about. Hi, Disha2411. Hello. Nice to see you. QTQ, what is best, Weeble or Robinhood? Anti-Robinhood channel. We're an anti-Robinhood channel, guys. I would, if you want to choose between Weeble and Robinhood, I would definitely choose Weeble. Weeble, it's not as easy to use as Robinhood. It's not as clean an interface, as pretty, but I'm not a Robinhood fan. And obviously Robinhood is a great app, but we are anti-Robinhood stands of this channel. At least I am. And it's because of what they did to GameStop and being shady and selling out to, essentially, either being shady and selling out to big corporations by stopping GameStop trading, or like just being a bad business and not having enough money to cover essentially the order flow that their users wanted. I'm not rewarding a bad business with my money. So I do have Weeble and SoFi. Like Weeble, you can do more advanced stock trading things, but like with SoFi, it's very easy, integrates to a lot of banks. They give you a lot of advantages, and things with SoFi in the future is like, they're trying to make themselves much more than just a stock trading app, and it's the entire personal financial suite. And I think that's very valuable for a lot of people who are starting to start their personal financial journey. So I do like SoFi a lot, and it's as easy to use as Robinhood, but doesn't have as much functionality. Weeble, on the other hand, is a little bit more complicated, but it also has greater functionality than Robinhood. And also, it's not Robinhood. Anti-Robinhood on this channel. Prodigal Athlete says, yes, he is, and I love our access. When he blows up, we won't. Aw, guys, I'll always be there for you. Don't worry about that. And, I don't care to blow up. Like, when you say that, it's like, I don't care to have, like, 1 billion subscribers. It's like, whatever it is. Like, when I first made my first video, like, in end of January, like, I was happy to get like 100 views on that thing. I was like, oh my gosh, I got 100 views. 100 people spent their time, energy watching something I made. Like that was crazy enough for me then. So I appreciate anybody who stops by and comments and interacts. It's like, thank you guys. This has been such a wonderful thing that I've been able to do, and it really makes me happy that you guys are enjoying the content and learning stuff, and learning things about money and taking control of your financial destiny. Like, oh my gosh, like what is more powerful than helping somebody out? What is more meaningful than helping somebody out? So I appreciate you guys saying that I have been helping you. HMS 2017, how is short-term typically defined? A day, a week, a month? Thanks. Short-term, I would say, is anywhere between a day or so. Like, obviously, you can be day trading on the day of and look for prices up and down on the day. I mean, there's no way, unless you got, like, 4 computer monitors, access to Bloomberg Terminal, and all this kind of stuff, there's no way that you, and if you do, and you're, like, an expert trader, I try to say this a lot. It's like, look, if you want to be a day trader, you need to go all in. It needs to be your full-time job. You need to be studying candlestick patterns all day long. And you need to know that you're going to be competing against guys from Stanford and MIT who graduated with like computer science degrees, and they have algorithms to script out things and do price predictions and all these kind of things with 4 different monitors here. And they have an entire team. They have access to the Bloomberg Terminal, which gives you a lot of in-depth financial information that is often behind paywalls that you don't have. Okay, so like if you're trying to day trade, that is your competition. I generally think that most people probably cannot compete with that, and I don't want you to be at a disadvantage to those people, right? So day trading can be within that sort of time frame. Usually, people who are trying to do short-term trading, though, at least as far as the community that we're in right now, would be something more like swing trading, which can be usually within weeks to a couple months period, right? And that is, you might think a couple months is a long time. It's not a long time. I work in real estate. Our time projection and horizons are like usually minimum 3 to 5 years to 10 years, right? Like that is what I consider actually like a medium to long term actually play is years and years, right? So you might think a couple months is a long time. It's not. So that's where these swing or momentum traders would be looking at what I would consider maybe the short term. Beer car, I feel you need a desktop. Will be more immersive and perhaps better to learn than on a tiny phone. Yeah, it's a lot better to learn. I mean, like if you have a computer, like obviously it's gonna be easy to learn most anything. Any thoughts on crypto H bar, Colorado Clark? Yeah, I've been having people look at that for me. I don't have a lot more information on H bar today, but all these things that people want me to look at. I have so many things. H bar. I've been asked about it so many times. I really need to look at it. If I recall correctly off the top of my head, it's trying to do decentralized apps, kind of. But I'm like, this is better interface. For Webull, yes it is. Cutie cute, don't talk about Robinhood on here. We abandoned an LOL. Yes, Willie. We did. Sailor J Karaoke. What did I sell? What did I sell? I don't know. I don't know what I was talking about. Oh, was I talking? Look, am I that far behind? Yo, I'm trying to scroll down and like all the messages that I missed. Am I that far behind? What I sold was my everything. Like we sold out of a lot of our portfolio. If you're talking about the market crash, hello. Spanish Rain 369. Hi, hello. Nice to see you. How do I feel about micro dosing Spanish Rain 369? I'm not sure what that means. HMS 2017, thank you for secure the bag. Dex turns your phone into a desktop, like literally? That's interesting. I don't know much about that. Microdosing mushroom? Spanish Rain 369? Is that talking about microdosing of mushrooms? I have not done it. Have not done mushrooms, although I have potentially, theoretically, I have assisted people in the growing of certain fungal things at one point in life, and it was very fun. Potentially in a hypothetical situation, but I have not done mushrooms myself. That's what you're asking. TC Cooksy, yo, hello, nice to see you. Bought a bunch of conditional stocks. They made you 40K so far. Sailor J Karaoke, good for you. I'm glad. Making money is good. 2 questions on crypto in general, says Prodigal Athlete. Spanish 3 people. Spanish Rain 69. Dex. But is for Samsung. Truth isn't truth. Rudy G, says Sailor J Karaoke. Truth isn't truth. Absolutely. Alley Cat defending Weeble. We are hey, I got my friends. TC Cooksy, my real estate genius. No, you're my TC Cooksy, I appreciate you. I'm no genius. Willie Hess, enjoyed discussion, very meaningful learning experience. Really appreciate it. Appreciate you, Willie Hess. I appreciate you. Colorado Clark, singer Birdie, People Help the People. Great song. Oh, that sounds fun. Oh, that's awesome, brother. We need more people like you, J Music Official. I'm doing my best. I'm doing my best, my friend. LGHL, look until you have the time, says Colorado Clark. Hong Kong's Robinhood potential. LGHL. Okay, yeah. I write down all these things that people tell me to look at, but if I had all the time in the world, I would look into everything. I'd explain everything. I'd be talking to you guys all day long, but you know, I still have to make money from my real job until if magically TikTok income replaced my real job, I'd be totally down. Had to stop doing inspections. Some friend said you can get PUA, so you got $12,000. TC Cooksy had to stop doing inspections. Oh no, why'd you have to stop? Prodigal Athlete says platform to send a lizard. What if it goes down by then? Prodigal Athlete, I'm not sure what you're talking about at this point. I'm behind. I'm trying to catch up on these messages, guys. Willie Hess, hi. What are your thoughts? It's much lower than that. I was thinking more than 2 or 3% was using it. What are we talking about? I am so behind, guys. TC Cooksy, you bought a bunch of storage units and made 105 grand last year. Good for you. Yeah, self storage is a great part of the market, and especially because at the end of the day, I'm not necessarily particularly a fan of over consumerism, but people are that doesn't matter what myself is. It's like people like to buy stuff, and uh, owning stuff and having a lot of space for your stuff is hard to do, and people always need more space for stuff. And self-storage is such an easy business if you can get it set up, because you don't have to do anything, right? It's just the building sits there, and especially if you do buy self-storage for a long-term play. Let's say I bought a self-storage site in Nashville along a developing corridor, and TC Cooksey, I assume you maybe have done that in your city. If I buy a self-storage site along a developing corridor, and I don't really necessarily care how much money if it's making me money in the short term, great. But really, it's like 10 years from now, that land is going to be worth so much, and all the buildings that I put on there are really just like metal frames, because they don't have to be worth a lot, right? It's just self-storage, and I can move those. I could probably even move some of those and salvage some of the stuff, but I haven't over invested into it, and now I have a bunch of land that can be rebuilt and redeveloped. So self-storage is something pretty cool. More and more people are buying servers and making their own Bitcoin. So this must have been talking what I was explaining about Bitcoin, says Willie Hess. TC Cooksey says, go to Forbes Mag, says FCC stumbles on XRP suit asked to dismiss. Really? Are we about to see a big jump for the XRP bulls? XP lawsuit, Forbes. FCC stumbles on Ripple case lost in a maze. Oh my gosh. Let me read this. I'm very interested in reading this, because if Ripple all of a sudden becomes back in knowledge, I have to do some more analysis on Ripple, because everybody asks me about it all the time. Don't be paper hands, be ape, says abstract descent. Yes. No paper hands allowed, especially not on Bitcoin. So everyone's discussing Willie Hess's stuff. What current crypto, says Beer Car, what current cryptocurrency under $1 has potential to be next Bitcoin in the next decade? Diamond hands. I mean, the cryptocurrency near a dollar, the biggest one that probably has the biggest chance to break out that's under a dollar, or close to a dollar, is probably Cardano. Cardano is a pretty cheap price point, and even though it is already fourth or fifth, I think, in terms of market cap, it might be even third or fourth at this point. Cardano is something that's going to be very much around, and it's going to be very much growing. So that is something to look at, is Cardano. And I'm convincing myself more and more. I've been looking at Cardano for a long time and being like, should I buy? Should I buy? And it was at 40 cents before, and then it went to 80 cents, and then it went to $1.30. Now it's down to $1.10. I'm more and more convincing myself just to put money in there and then just close my eyes and not worry about it. So I am looking, that would be one that's close to a dollar that I think is safer, right? There's a lot of, any amount of altcoins could moon and go up 10,000% in a day. But I don't want you guys to be investing in things that aren't pretty safe as well. It's and I feel like Cardano is one that is pretty safe, all things considered, because of its solutions, because of its community of developers, because what it's trying to do to take on Ethereum and its scaling ability. That being said, it's Ethereum is something that you totally can get into too. And the thing is, guys, it's a lot of, with cryptocurrency, you don't have to buy the full $50,000 Bitcoin. You can buy as much as you want, because though they have things that it trades down to super small fractions, these things are pretty good too, and I don't think Bitcoin and Ethereum are going anywhere. Willie Hess says, you've been seeing a lot of advertisement, people buying their own servers to mine Bitcoin. Willie, we might be doing that. My company might be doing that. So we bought an abandoned office building in Chattanooga, and it used to be run by the city, by the county of Chattanooga, and they used to have their IT sector out of there, their IT department, where they store all their data for the city. And so they had a massive electrical power load, and this incredible, it's worth $300,000 by itself, all the equipment to manage power. And my boss said, Andy, if you can come up with a pro forma to have us mine Bitcoin in the meantime while we're renovating this building, we'll mine it, because we have literally power cords and conduits like this big. Like that's the amount of electricity we have coming into this building because it used to serve data centers for an entire city. So people definitely are mining their own Bitcoin. But the thing is, it's a very complicated business to get into because you have to be able to be managing your electricity costs. You have to continuously falls. Your profitability is gonna smash through the floor. It's difficult to look at. It's not something that everyone can be doing. J Music Official said beer car said ADA. Hey, you said ADA before I did. So how about that? What do I think about XRP? I have some opinions on Litecoin. I'm not big on Litecoin. I think it's like, why would I own Litecoin when I can own Bitcoin? Like, Litecoin is just never going to have the same amount of acceptance. It's supposed to do the same thing as Bitcoin. Same thing with Bitcoin Cash. It's like, I'm trying to own things best in class, right? And for cryptocurrencies, there's a bunch of different value propositions, like Bitcoin being a store of value, kind of like a gold, right? Litecoin would make it a silver, and Bitcoin Cash would be like bronze, maybe. I don't know. But I want to genuinely, and I like to do this for stock investing as well, is to own the thing that's best in class for its value proposition. And every different cryptocurrency, guys, has a different value proposition, which means a different reason for why that cryptocurrency exists. Bitcoin currently is treated kind of like as a store of value. Something like an Ethereum or a Cardano or a Polkadot is used for decentralized finance and apps, and essentially what is known as smart contracts that you can build on top of them. So essentially they're like a way to build code on top of a blockchain cryptocurrency system in a very, very basic sense. So that's what some of these value propositions are. Something like a Ripple or a Stellar Lumens is meant to facilitate quick and easy price and money transfer across countries. Something and we go further down the line, there are tokens meant for NFTs. There are tokens that are meant for different video games. Like, I want to be generally best in class, and something like a Litecoin, I am a little bit more hesitant to be in, especially over the long term. Easy SAT says Roblox. I spent probably 30 minutes talking about Roblox Easy SAT, but nutshell is that Roblox in the short term, I believe you're going to see a massive pump. You saw Kathy Woods put money into it, and obviously when stimulus checks comes out, I think Roblox is going to do well. But over the long term, I do believe, compared to some of the other companies like EA, Blizzard, Take-Two Interactive, and even Minecraft, that it might be a little bit ahead of its time with its valuation, and we're going to see a pullback in valuation over the coming months, but not necessarily within the next few weeks. XRP sued, good news. FCC stumbles 4 max today. Yes, TC Cooksey, you're right. So I'm going to read that article. That's very interesting for me. That's very interesting for me. I wish this was available when you were 23, Gen X or tail end prodigal athlete. No, you're all good, my friend. We're all good. We're starting now. The best time, ancient Chinese proverb. Best time plant tree 10 years ago. Second best time today, right? You're starting today. That's very good. Just Vast. Love a really good candle. Me too, my friend. Me too. I love candles. Just Fast. Swing trading, binary options, from what I understand, is almost similar to gambling. I wouldn't say it's similar to gambling if you really study it. But the thing is, for most people, is that they don't really study it. Like, there are people who make a lot of money in swing trading because there are patterns that come up over and over again, like in the 1400s. And then there was this rice merchant dude. I believe his name was Doji. He was like this rice merchant dude from Japan who invented all of these, who invented candlesticks. So the stuff that you look at when you look at the stocks things, and the green and red bars and boxes that go up and down, when you look at that dude invented that way back in the day because there were patterns that he saw even back in 1400. And when things weren't that efficient, that he could make money off of just through that and see price and ups and downs fluctuations. So there is an amount of psychology to the market that you can't understand. The problem is the amount of knowledge you have to do and the amount of time you have to spend on it is often way too much for the average person. Just Vass, thank you for answering your question. Really appreciate it. Yeah, you're welcome, my friend. The amount of time you have to spend on that is like often so much, right? Like in order to really put yourself at a competitive edge, and I would hesitate to recommend anyone to start doing it unless you're like young and you're in college or you're in high school and you have a lot of time to study and learn, or if you're like working a desk job, like office space style, and you don't do anything, you're a white collar job all day, and you only have to do your one report in the morning, show up for your meeting at 2 o'clock, and then the rest of the time you're kind of on Reddit or browsing the internet anyway. If you're doing that, you might as well learn swing trading, right? You can study this stuff. It's just very difficult. It's very difficult to get into that. Uh, oh my gosh, I have missed a lot of messages, guys. You are so far behind, like half an hour behind, Willie Hess. Oh my gosh, maybe I should just scroll all the way down to the bottom and then just catch up. Or stay-at-home mama. Yes, just fast. You can do that too. Absolutely. TC Cooksey read that XRP was a world order token. The FCK was done was only to suppress it from going up. I don't know anything about that, TC Cooksey. NFTs and coins, George Garris 4. Yeah, NFTs, if you guys don't know, are non-fungible tokens. And essentially the digital collectible craze that's been going on. There's a lot of different platforms, and I don't know them off the top of my head, that specifically support NFTs, and those obviously have been doing well recently. Y'all, like, how far am I behind on my messages? Now, I'm going to look up on my, I have on my PC here. I'm very behind, aren't I? I am very behind. Okay, cryptocurrency, blah, blah, blah. Have two portfolios, one for long-term swing, one for swing trading, says Willie Hess. That's good. No, answer everyone. Don't scroll. I wanted because you knew you were answering order. Okay, thank you. You waited. Thank you, Just Fast. I appreciate you waiting around. Takes me, look, I try to talk quickly, but I end up, talking about so many different things because, and a 30-second answer on a financial topic almost is never like actually of any use to anybody, because it's like, to really understand it requires more than just like a yes or no answer. It's really to know more about kind of the thought process and how do people analyze things and approach things. It's like that's really what's more important, I think. Okay, G Pro says Earththread. I don't know about Gthread. Easy SAT thoughts on Roblox, please. Did I not talk to you about Easy SAT about Roblox? Roblox, as I said before, short term, I think it's going to get a pump from Cathie Wood. From obviously did get a big pump from Cathie Wood today, and then also from stimulus checks that are coming out. But overall, in the long term, I believe that it's trading a little bit ahead of its valuation. It's a $40 billion company compared to something like an EA Sports, which is a $38 billion company, compared to something to like a Take-Two Interactive, which is a $20 billion company, compared to something like a Activision, which is a $72 billion company. I feel like it's a little bit behind a lot of these other gaming companies, and then in comparison to where the fact that it's unprofitable right now gives me a little bit of pause as far as the medium to long term. If Bitcoin hits 6 digits, will a bear retrace back lower than what it is now? Damien Lafourcade. I don't think so. It seemed like the Bitcoin, like the most Bitcoin has ever dropped, I think it's like 70 to 80%. So obviously, if it hit 100,000 and then retraced to $30,000, it would be lower than it is today. But there was a massive wall of resistance at Bitcoin. Just under $40,000 was the lowest it's hit over the past few weeks. I think that if the Bitcoin hits 100 grand and it's starting to fall, it hits $40,000. Look, y'all, if it hit 100 grand and it falls to $40,000, I'm putting my entire life savings into Bitcoin and I'm walking away and I'm not looking at that thing again. Like, there are going to be so many people who want to be buying it. Obviously, it can fall that much, but like and maybe in the short term it will go down more. But like, I literally would do that. If it went to 100 and then fell to 40, my entire life savings, every single dollar I own, I'm selling my car, I'm putting it all in Bitcoin. Because it's going to come back up eventually, right? Eventually after that. Is Anchor USD a good brokerage for crypto, says Sangoose Zero? I'm not sure about Anchor USD. I've never been about it. Tax loan sales, Hager Outdoors. What do I know about them? Tax lien, I believe you're talking about Hager Outdoors. Look, a lot of, if you guys, especially on TikTok and on YouTube, there are a lot of guys talking about tax liens. And what a tax lien sale is, essentially, if you don't pay your taxes on a property, then a tax lien can be put on it, and then obviously you can pay a tax bill, and allegedly you can buy a property. So if someone doesn't pay their tax bill of $1,000, you could pay their bill for them, and you could get their property potentially. The thing is though, in a lot of times it takes a lot longer than you think. Like in Tennessee, there's a 13-month, I think it's right of restoration or something like that. It's to that effect, where they can come back at any time, pay those taxes as well, and take it back from you. And you know, and also, like, even if if you do buy it off of tax lien, like, there's not a lot of properties that actually go to tax lien, and second, it's like you can get yourself into big legal mess if you mess something up with the tax lien, and often there will also be other liens on it, and you might have other title issues that come about for tax liens. Like, everyone's like, oh, it's like tax lien investing, it's so cheap, you can buy a house for $1,000. I'm like, how many of you guys have bought a house with a tax lien? Like, all these people, I'm pretty passionate about this one. It's like, look, like, it is something really difficult to do to buy a house as it stands with like the traditional way with a lot of money. It's hard to do. Do you really think buying a house because you paid off somebody's tax bill is going to be super profitable? And I could be just a super negative Nancy and Andy's. Like, you just don't understand how to make money off tax liens. There's a lot of complications there that people don't tell you when they're talking about tax liens. If I were looking to invest in real estate, I would not start there. I think there are way better ways to start, and the best way to start is trying to do a house hack sort of thing, which is what I'm about to do. The best way to start in real estate is to do some sort of house hack where you buy a property, ideally something like a duplex, or even a house where you rent out the other rooms to other people, and you essentially you buy in and you have your roommates or the other side of a duplex rent it out, and that pays your mortgage, and essentially where you can get in and you can live for free, and you have your mortgage being paid down by your roommates, by your tenants, and then if you're living for free, obviously you might not be making quote unquote money, but that's money that you don't have to be spending on your mortgage or your rent somewhere else, right? Like, that's something great. And while you're doing that, you're getting mortgage interest deduction off of your income taxes. You get to take depreciation on the portion of the house that's used as a rental property. You have all these other things that are benefits to you, and you also have, if you're in a growing market like I'm in Nashville, Tennessee, you also have the market that grows. Last year it grew 10%. I doubt it will grow 10% again this year, but 3 to 5% per year, free money in the bank, right? Like, that's I think the best way to start in real estate. It takes longer. You need some amount of upfront capital. You have to have good credit, be able to qualify for a loan. But if you can do that, it's so much better. That's what I like there. Can you give crypto like birthday gifts as prodigal athlete instead of money to nieces and nephews? Yeah, absolutely. Prodigal athlete, like, you can learn to set up wallets, and I believe MetaMask is one of the better wallets that people have been talking about, that I've been trying to do some more research. I don't actually have a crypto wallet besides just my cryptocurrency in the exchanges themselves. So I don't actually have one, but you can get a wallet and you can set it up and gift it to your nieces and nephews. Like, if you give them $100 in Bitcoin as like a present and said, don't touch this for 20 years, they'll probably be very rich 20 years from now. So that would be a fun gift. Willie Hess, I was talking about when you said 25, we're using Bitcoin percent. I thought it was 2 to 5%. No. 25% or so of Americans are in crypto. It's 20 to 25% at this point. It's not 2 to 5% anymore. Like, that was 10 years ago. We are at a quarter of people in America using Bitcoin, which is or cryptocurrency in general, which is kind of crazy. Have I ever been labeled PDT and banned, even by accident? PDT, beer car. I'm not sure what that is. PDT? What is PDT? PDT. Pacific Daylight Time? I don't know what that is. So, I've got double-digit Ethereum. Should I sell to buy Bitcoin? Just think of the multiplier when moons. Damien Laffercade. I wouldn't necessarily do that. I think that if you have double-digit amounts of Ethereum, that you probably have a higher chance to make a greater percentage return in Ethereum than Bitcoin, simply due to the fact that Bitcoin is way more understood by financial institutions than Ethereum is. And like, the only really big guys buying Ethereum is the Grayscale Ethereum Trust, So you still have a lot more room for institutional guys to get in behind Ethereum. That I think you would have a higher percentage chance of that thing to go up. Obviously, it's also more risky because you have people like Cardano and Polkadot who are saying the alleged Ethereum killer is coming to kill him. But I wouldn't necessarily do that. If you want to diversify your portfolio for risk purposes, that's a different story. But to chase higher percentage gains, I'm not sure that's going to be the best thing to do there. Colorado Clark talked about wallets. Hey, see, you guys are way ahead of me. I know, I'm catching up. Beer Car, what is a reverse split? Is it good or bad? Okay, so I believe you might be talking about like the reverse split that maybe you saw that GE did. So what a reverse stock split, essentially, you have a certain amount of shares that exist. Let's say you have 1 million shares that exist. Then all of a sudden, they make the shares turn into less shares. Okay, that's not very clear. Let's say there are 10 million shares and they're all worth $100. They can reduce the amount of shares to only 1 million shares and make them each worth $1,000. A stock split, and on the other hand, is when you have a million shares worth $1,000, and then you split them up into 10 shares each. And the reason why you do that, or would not want to do that, is when you have more shares, it's easier for people to get in. Like the price obviously would be lower, and that makes it more accessible to some people, and it also increases the amount of volume of shares that are out there. So ideally, that encourages greater liquidity. And when there is greater liquidity, there are more shares available for trading. Oftentimes, it won't be as volatile as a stock with less amount of shares. Because think about it this way: if I'm one dude and I own 1,000 of the 1 million shares that exist, right? If I own 1/1000th of it, if I sell all of my shares at one point in time, I can affect the market pretty heavily, right? Because what my position is 1/1000th of the entire shares available. But instead, if I have 1/1000, if I have 1,000 shares and there are 10 million shares available, and I decide to sell all my shares today, then I'm only one in 10,000 of the total shares that are available, and I have like 10% less of. I'm sorry, much more than 10% less. What is that? 1,000% less percent times 100. Yeah, 1,000% less percent of ability to affect the market. So that's what it is. So reverse split is to take more shares and turn them into one share. I'm not sure why companies do that. I know GE is going to do that. I'm not exactly sure what the advantage of doing a reverse stock split is. I'm sure there is one, but I'm not familiar with it off the top of my head. COVID stock. See, home inspections weren't essential in Virginia. They were in Tennessee. That is so wild. They were very essential in Tennessee. Everything real estate related was essential in Tennessee. Okay, perfect. Okay, buy the rumor, sell the news. Absolutely, guys. Rosita Partida says, hi, hello, Rosita. What is the benchmark for a desktop in regards to processing power and RAM to start trading at home, Beer Car? I mean, you don't need a massive machine. Like, you can trade off of a regular computer. You just have to be monitoring a bunch of different screens, and that's more important, right? It's easier to day trade if you have a lot of different screens, right? And that's really the gating factor of your computer. And people are talking about internet speed is the must, and graphics card will be better. All the good graphics cards sold out because of crypto mining. Colorado Clark, yes, absolutely. Let's see. Okay, I'm catching up, guys. I'm almost there. Am I almost there? Okay, talking in order, blah, blah, blah. Just wait till you get 500 viewers alive. Good luck keeping up with the chat, and you're on the way, Colorado Clark. Oh, no, I can't. Colorado Clark, if that happens and I'm getting 500 viewers per live, you guys are gonna, things will have to spam, and then it's gonna be different. It's gonna be a different vibe, for sure. Gosh. Just got here. What would you spend your life savings on? Crazy TikTok 79. I was talking about, if Bitcoin went to 100K and retraced down to 40K, I would put everything I own into Bitcoin and walk away and close my eyes and pray to God that it went up again soon. But I would do that. Like, look, the next time there's a massive, Uni-chan, like these low-key lives, learn to talk faster, LOL, TC Cooksy. I don't talk fast enough for you. I don't talk fast enough for you guys. I talk fairly quickly, all things considered. You know, like, I feel like I talk fairly fast. I can talk faster. If y'all are ready, like, I did policy debate in high school, and I don't know if you guys have ever seen Google TC Cooksy. I'm kidding. Yeah, like, you're great to listen to. So much great info. Thank you, Glam You Up Girl. I appreciate it. Oh, Gary the Snail, love you when you talk dirty. Grr. I did policy debate in high school. So policy debate, if you guys want to like Google something that's crazy, go Google like policy debate talking fast into YouTube and watch how fast those kids talk. I can talk that fast. I can talk that fast if you want to. Now, obviously, I can't be coming up with that stuff on the top of my head, but if I had something to read, I can be talking very, very quickly. You know, I can, it's called speed reading. If you guys want to see me spread, I can spread for 30 seconds if you want. Nothing too obscene, no, bro. I meant if you had 500 TC Cooksy, yeah, it would be very difficult. Keep it the same pace you have been. I'm trying to do my best. Policy, who do you spell? Policy debate. Policy debate is what I did in high school. If you Google that in YouTube, you will watch these kids talking at like 200 words a minute. That's fast, talking extremely fast, like the way you're talking now. Yeah, spread. Spicy from Militian. Yes. You're kidding, Gary the Snail 4534. I'm not. I'll talk dirty to you all day long. Well, I thought it was over 3.1 already. You guys are talking. You guys are having a lot of conversations in here that I'm also missing as well. With the mortgage stimulus, you can forget about buying them for a while. I'm not sure what we're forgetting about buying. 2 years in New Jersey for owner to redeem tax lien. Such a waste of time. George Garris 4. Hey, good. Like, y'all know the laws. Y'all know the laws. Don't change, you're doing great. I appreciate TC Cooksy. Don't mind the fast, it's the octave pitch that does it for me. Anthony Ekura 62. Is my octave pitch too high sometimes? Like right now? Does it sound too high? I do go up and down a little bit, but ops and HCMC. HCMC. Y'all, I've been telling you guys to stay away from HCMC as much as possible. Over the counter stocks are difficult, right? What's the topic today, Femilition? What the topic today is that I'm trying to finish out these comments and I'm trying to go to bed. It is 11:30 for me, and I still have to work tomorrow. But I keep going to here. Jason Rod 6 says, "Hey Andy, wasn't the Super supposed to roll into Nashville? The Super Bowl? I'm not sure what you were talking about, but the Super." How hard is it to get a property where you're at? Is it hard as it can't be, ain't it? Willie Hess, like, I helped one of my friend's dads purchase a property. Every property that we were trying to go on and buy, we had at least 7 to 8 offers on it. Like, we made 5 offers before we finally got a property for him to move into. And then, even then, we had to find this property off market. So, talking about trying to be hard to buy a property, it is very hard to buy a decent property at a decent price in Nashville right now. Is your eye okay? That eye's been itching. Which crypto would I invest in if I had 5K or 10K? Jason Rod 6. I probably would be splitting it up in terms of wanting to, like, taking a risk reward profile of it's less risky, more risky than Bitcoin and Ethereum, but less risky than some of the other ones. I'd probably split it into Cardano and Polkadot and split it halfway. I'm listening to J Balvin, J Music Official. Yeah, I put on some reggaeton, boys and girls. Like, y'all didn't know in college I did Latin dancing. So, I love Spanish music. Spanish language music, shall we say. P Currents 51515. Sorry, just jumped on. Is it smart to keep buying Bitcoin and Doge or just Bitcoin? P Current 1115. If you learn one thing from today, I would much rather you be putting all your money into Bitcoin rather than to Dogecoin. Like, say it very quickly. For those in the back, for those who haven't heard me say it every single day. For those in the back, Dogecoin only has value because it's a meme. So, to be fair, so does Bitcoin. Bitcoin kind of only has because Dogecoin is a fork of Litecoin, which is a derivative of Bitcoin, right? So actually, they are very similar in the ways their blockchain works. But the thing with Dogecoin is that it's only a meme currently. It only has meme energy surrounding it, and if you really want it to be breaking out, you have to convince me. If you convince me that the suits on Wall Street are going to be buying into Dogecoin like the way they buy into Bitcoin, if you convince me like the big guys with the billions of dollars would do that, like they're doing with Bitcoin right now, you can convince me something different. But until then, like Dogecoin is dangerous. It is something that you can definitely make money on in the short term and momentum if you get in ahead of the crowd. But in the long term, it's not something I'm bullish on. I'll call the reverse split a way to rip off investors. Never good, Willie Hess. That might be true. Do you think the U.S. government will step in and regulate out of existence Bitcoin just Julius too? No, and I think it's because the corporations at this point have too much Bitcoin. They won't let that happen. I do believe so. It's become to a point where too many rich people own Bitcoin, and they can't do it because rich people control the world. So we got to rely on the richies, and we're going to ride their coattails every now and then. Know the people, let's see. Oh, I'm almost caught up, guys. No, the people didn't want us to come to their house. PTC Cooksy. That's so weird. That's so weird. You'll need the speed of your internet, Willie Hess. Yes. P. Curran. Thanks, I'll stay with Bitcoin, no more Doge. Yay, P. Curran. Good. So I read all those other comments. Don't mind the fast, the Ox page, blah, blah, blah. LOL, go to bed. We will be back. Colorado Clark. Okay. I've almost gone through all the comments. Hold on. It ascends when you get real excited. Anthony Equiros 62. Okay. Thank you for letting me know about that. I will try to manage the pitch more. So hopefully that's something that I can be working on. I always appreciate feedback, guys. Is Kraken good for crypto? Yes, Kraken is great. It's a really good program for financial assistance for normal people for $10,000. I'm not sure what you mean by financial assistance, just Julius. But okay, blah 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 blah. Words. Lissalot Fayweather, hello, nice to see you. Thank you for coming in. I'm sorry, I'm about to log off. Lissalot Fayweather. Like at this point, I've already been on for like 2 hours. My voice is. I'm becoming the end of the night where I'm losing my train of thought and my voice is getting shot. So, you are the best. No, you are the best, Lissalot Fayweather. So if you have missed it and you wanted to see the rest of the live, I'm so sorry. But I recorded this. Ideally, this recording didn't corrupt this time. My last 3 recordings all corrupted from my computer. So I'm trying to like record it from my computer right now. Hopefully it worked this time. So hopefully if you want to see it, I will be uploading to my YouTube channel, which is link is in the bio. Jason Rod said, you just watched a video of spreading? What in the world? Oh my gosh, yeah. So if you guys haven't seen spreading for policy debate, you want to look it up. Like that's crazy. I can definitely I can talk that fast, y'all. So one of these days I'll get on here and I'll spread something for you guys, and I think that'd be something very interesting to see. I've still got it. I know I still got it. I can read 200 words per minute too. Anyway, the point is, thank you guys, everyone, for stopping by. I appreciate it as always. Everyone's support, everyone taking the time to listen to me today. Hopefully, you've learned something valuable. If you want to support me, please go subscribe to my YouTube channel where you can see the full lives that I'm going to be trying to post as long as the videos don't corrupt. And as well as when my videos, TikTok videos, start coming out again, give them a like, give them a comment. That's a great way to just help me, and that's really all I ask of you guys. So I know I haven't made a TikTok video for 2 weeks. I've been caught up with doing stuff with my job, so I've been making excuses, but they're coming again. I just haven't been able to do that. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for sticking around. I will talk to you guys soon. I won't be here tomorrow, but I will be here on Monday. So Monday between 9 to 11 Central Time. If you guys are looking for me again, that's the next time I'm going to be live. So anyway, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for all your time today, and I hope to see you guys soon. Love you very much in New York. Listen a lot, Fayweather. Love you too. Love you back. So, thank you guys. Let me up, girl. Thank you. Luke1012 followed the host. Hey, Luke, thank you for joining in, my friend. But I'm about to leave. The recording for this is going to be in. If you want to access this, is going to be in my YouTube channel, which is linked in the bio. So